Hello everyone, I am coming back at you with an updated after, I think it's been 7 months, not 6 months, but I think a full 6 months of using it just because I wasn't able to read as much as I wanted to last year for the last few months of the year, but I wanted to give you an update on my Kindle Signature Paperwhite. You can see that since my last video, I have updated a lot of stickers on the back here, and you might recognize some of them from your favorite books, especially from these that are sitting right over here with me. If you want to see that original video, if this is the first one that you're seeing as the update video and you want to see the unboxing, the original, and the comparison to the Oasis, then I'll leave that in the description, and I'll also try and put it in the little card up here so that way you can get all caught up and see the unboxing and then watch this update after. So I wanted to jump into a few of my favorite things, just tell you how I think it's going. Do I like it? I am someone who has had the Oasis or like a Fire, just any sort of Kindle for probably, I don't know, the last 10 years, like since they came out. So I've had this one for quite a long time, and the reason that I wanted to get the Paperwhite is because the battery on this Oasis just was not what I wanted it to be. You could see this one has like a few random extra stickers in the clear case. The nice thing about the Oasis is that it did have this like handhold right here, and it is very intuitive and ergonomic that you can just hold it, and it's very light. And then the cool thing about the Oasis is it like auto flips, not right now because it's not on, but it's cool because it does have the last one that you read. This one has that too though. But this one, the battery life was terrible. This was the last book that I read on it before I got the Paperwhite. And as you can see, I do have the paper trophy version of it now because I wanted, whenever I have a favorite book that I read on my Kindle, and it's just one of my very, very, very favorites that I really want to have on my shelf, I will eventually get a copy of it. And unpopular opinion, I actually kind of like the paperbacks more than I like the hardcovers, just because I like when they all match. And sometimes it's hard when you don't get the hardcover right away and they don't match. But anyway, that was a little bit of a sidebar, but I did love this one. I love the screen and just everything that kind of came along with the Oasis, but the battery would last, you know, I had this for 2 years, maybe 2.5. And I think the battery life got down to the fact where it was only lasting me maybe 30 minutes to an hour, even with Wi-Fi off. And after restoring it, after resetting it, after troubleshooting with Amazon and scouring the internet, it just wasn't working for me anymore. So I decided to, as you all saw in the last video, upgrade to the Kindle Paperwhite Signature Edition. It is in the Agave green. You can see past all of these stickers that it is the Agave green. And I got all of these off of Etsy actually. So what was funny is I was reading Fourth Wing at the time, or I just finished Fourth Wing when I did that last video back at the end of May or June, early June 2023. And so I was reading that. I had just read both of the Crescent City books. These ones right here, that the third one is coming out so soon. If you're watching this when I'm posting it, it is coming out at the end of January, and I'm so excited, which is why I'm trying to reread these, and it's on my TBR, which I'll talk about at the end of the video, where I'm going to talk about what I'm reading, some of my recommendations, TBR for January, and just some of the favorites that I've read on this recently after I go through my overall review and kind of the specs of this device. You can see on here there's Fourth Wing, there's some from Crescent City, some from, oh my gosh, why am I blanking? From, I was going to say A Court of Mist and Fury, but that's totally not right. It's the last book in A Court of Thorns and Roses. A Court of Silver Flames? Yeah, A Court of Silver Flames is that one. Wow, totally forgot about that one. And then from Throne of Glass as well. I just have one that says read. I have one in Elvish from Lord of the Rings, and these ones were just really cute little stickers. And then that was another Fourth Wing one. I feel like I'll definitely, there's another Lord of the Rings. I'll definitely update this as I read more books that I love and things that I want to include. And I didn't actually stick these down in here. I've gotten a couple questions about this. I just kind of put them, this is like a clear case, and I will try and link it below. I'll also link exactly which Kindle this is below, but I just kind of arranged them facing down into the case and then carefully stuck the case on, and they do slide around from time to time, but since there are so many that are squished in there, it seems to be pretty sturdy. I also have gotten a couple questions about whether it charges. I do. If you look in the last video, I have like a stand-up charger. I get a couple questions about whether it will charge wirelessly through this case and with all the stickers on, and the answer is yes. So it's still, what's really cool about the Signature Edition is that you can charge it, and I've actually charged it with my phone charger before, my MagSafe. If you put it in exactly the right place, it will actually charge, or you can just use the USB-C. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of other things I've gotten questions on. So I've gotten questions on battery life. Right now you can see it's at 96%. I generally leave the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on. Honestly, I could turn Bluetooth off and it would probably improve my battery life more. But I do like to leave Wi-Fi on because what you can do is you can actually share to Goodreads. Like for example, right now I'm reading Light Lark. And if you click this little thing to bring up this top menu, then what you can actually do is you can actually click these little 3 dots, and then you've got all these different settings, but you can click share, and I've linked it to Goodreads. And then what's really cool is that it will automatically sync whatever percentage you're done with the book, and then you can click share. You can add any notes for like how you're feeling at that particular time, and it's really cool to be able to look back and see. Another cool thing that you can do is when you're in a book, if you want to bookmark a page just to be able to come back to it, you can also search any words. So if you're reading a book that is not in English, or you just don't know that word, you can highlight it and just kind of click on it, and it will tell you the definition and kind of give you more information. You can also highlight it in case it's something that you want to highlight and come back to. But that's really useful for when you're trying to build your vocabulary, or if you are reading a book that maybe has words in other languages. But if you bring this menu back up and you click this little A with a lowercase a on it, then you have so many different options here. So you have these different themes. If you can, like if you want more words on a page, you can make it more compact, standard, less. I don't know why mine's custom. Apparently I made a custom one that I don't totally remember doing, but there you go. You can also change the font. And this is something that I really wanted to talk about, is that I feel like I read so quickly on my Kindle. I don't know how to explain it. And I feel like a lot of my friends have said, I'm a physical book person. I just don't want to read on a Kindle. I mean, other than the fact that you can pretty much take it anywhere and you have thousands of books at your disposal at any time. It's just, I feel like I read faster, and I feel like I've gotten to the point where when I'm actually trying to read a physical book, I don't read as quickly. I was trying to read Iron Flame because I got that physical copy before I got the Kindle version. I was so slow. I felt like something was wrong with me. I don't know if it was the font or that Iron Flame is really tiny print, but it took me so long. And then once I got the Kindle version of it, it flew by. And I don't know if it has to do with this default font on the Kindle. It's called Bookerly. But it is like, there's just something about it where my brain just flies through, and I just find myself scrolling, and I can read so much faster on my Kindle. So there's so many fonts to choose from. You can actually change it if you don't like it. You can make it bold, you can change the size, you can do whatever you want. This is just what I have it set at because this is what I like, but I really do like the Bookerly font. And I know that you can also add custom fonts if you want. If you go and you download a font package, you can actually plug your Kindle into your computer using the USB-C port, and then you can download that font file, and then you can have custom fonts on your Kindle too. So that's just another nice feature that I don't necessarily utilize, but you can. It also gives you just more options for layout and reading progress. And then something that I turn off and on quite a bit is I will turn on this show clock while reading, and you'll notice that just popped up. Here, I'll turn it off so you can see it. Now it's gone, so it's just like you're just having a reading experience as if you were just reading on a regular page. But sometimes at night, or if I'm reading between, you know, things that I'm doing at work and I want to make sure that I don't accidentally lose track of time, I'll just go in there quickly and turn it on, so that way it appears and I know what I'm doing, and I don't accidentally read until 2 a.m. Well, sometimes that happens anyway, but at least I know what I'm doing and it's not just I've completely lost track of time. You can also put reading progress, time left in book. This is something that's really nice, is that you can actually just have the page number displayed. You can have time left in chapter. They have like locations, but I kind of find that useless. Or you can do time left in book. Or you can just have it blank. I prefer to have time left in book or time left in chapter, just because I think that way, like, again, I know how much time I have before I have to get to the next thing. And you can also change it right down here. So you can see the percentage is in the right hand corner. Let me see if I can get this closer without the shadow. There's like a weird amount of shadow from the window because there's like clouds. We just had really weird weather, so sorry for that little shadow, but you can see it has 3% and it says 7 hours and 42 minutes. So it actually learns how quickly you are reading, and it will customize this for you. You could do location. So if you click on that, you can also change it that way. Oops, I just moved the page because I'm looking at the camera, not at the actual Kindle, so I'm not hitting it in the right place, but there we go. Now you can see page number, 14 minutes left in chapter, or 7 hours and 42 minutes left in the book. And sometimes it's just so nice to see that I'm at 3%. I have 7 hours and 42 minutes left in the book. And as someone who loves long books, this is just the most satisfying thing in the entire world, to see that I have almost 8 hours of reading time that I can just enjoy this story and really get into it. So I love that. Let's see. I feel like it's pretty quick to respond. I haven't had any software issues or anything like that. Again, the battery life is amazing. It's at 96. Oops, as I bumped the camera. But you can see right up there, it says it's at 96. I do have that stand-up charger, which you can see in the other video if you go back and look at it when I unbox this. And it sits right next to my nightstand and kind of just, or right on my nightstand next to my bed, and it just kind of sits up, and then I have it set at whatever book I'm reading. Since I got the Signature Edition, it means there are no ads. If you can get the Paperwhite for a lot less if you just want to have less storage and have ads instead of having this, although you can pay to remove the ads. So there's so many different options of what you can do. But I just bought top of the line because I am a big reader and I'm used to this being the top of the line, but this battery was just so bad. But basically when I set this on that charger, it charges at night, and I really never see it go below 85%, because then I'll just put it right back on that. Even if I have been reading 4 hours, like I think during this terrible weather we had this past weekend, I read for like 8 hours one day, and I finished an entire book in one sitting, and it still had like 85% after I read for that much with the Wi-Fi, with the Bluetooth on. If I turn those things off, I'm sure I could get even more out of it. And I'm sure that if I didn't have the ability to charge this, it would last for probably weeks, maybe even a month. So that has completely solved my battery issue that I had with this one. This one never had as great of a battery, to be quite honest. I don't know what was up with the Oasis, and I've heard that from a lot of people, so I don't think it was just this device. The Paperwhite, especially the Paperwhite Signature, I've heard just has incredible battery life overall. I've been thinking about getting a little pop socket, but the hard part is you kind of have to place it like right down here, because this is the way that I hold it. I don't hold it like right in the middle. So I might get a little pop socket that is magnetic, that I could kind of pull off, so that way I could still use that charger and charging stand that I have to make sure it charges. So overall, I would highly 11 out of 10 recommend the Kindle Paperwhite Signature Edition. I feel like it has everything I need. I use Kindle Unlimited quite a bit, which I'll go into now. I'll go into Kindle Unlimited and using Libby to get library books, and also just some books that I've read recently, and my TBR for the rest of January and into February. So let's talk about a little bit about Kindle Unlimited. You can buy it yearly or you can buy it monthly. I do monthly, and I think I'm grandfathered into a plan where I pay $9.99 a month, and I always forget about it until it charges my credit card, and then I think about it and I'm like, oh, I should really look on there for more books. And I like looking on my computer, to be honest. I like browsing on my computer just because it has it just has a better experience. But what's really cool is this is kind of my home screen on my Kindle. And when you're connected to the internet, obviously, if you were somewhere in a park that didn't have Wi-Fi, or you were on a plane and you didn't have Wi-Fi, you might not be able to have this experience, obviously. So you would need to make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi. But what's cool is once it's downloaded, it's on your Kindle and you don't need Wi-Fi. So if you're on the train, the subway, a plane, anywhere that you don't have it, it doesn't matter as long as you see a little check mark that it's downloaded. I have hundreds of books downloaded on here, and it's taking up like 0.25% of the storage. So you can have a ton of books on here, and you can download, I think, 10 Kindle Unlimited books at a time. So you can read an unlimited amount every month or every year as you pay for it, but you can only borrow 10 at a time. So then it's kind of like a library. You just return one that you don't want or that you've already read, and then you can download another one. So it has like things that I might like based on my current reading history. So if I click this, books you might like in Kindle Unlimited, it's going to go through and it tells you, see this little symbol always means that it's Kindle Unlimited. And I will find a lot of times that book people are suggesting to me, or BookTok, I will go on here and it's actually totally free to me because I have Kindle Unlimited, which is really nice. So a lot of really popular books that you're going to see, like I know this one, I haven't read this yet, A River Enchanted, but this one was on Book of the Month for a little bit. And it's just been all over BookTok. So that one you can actually just read for free. You can just click read now, and then it will pop up in my library. And actually, I'll just show you what happens when you try and get one, but you already have 10 books out. If I click read now, then it'll just say return a title to continue. So right now I have like all of these things and I kind of use this as like a TBR. So I'll just like hoard books in here, and that way I'm like, oh, right, I was going to read Things We Never Got Over, or I was going to read Trial of the Sun Queen. I was going to read The Serpent and the Wings of Night, that kind of thing. So, I guess I think you can have 20. I thought you can only have 10, but you can actually have 20 at a time. So that's kind of a lot of rentals that you can have from Kindle Unlimited, and it has some really, really popular books. And these are just ones that it obviously thinks I will like. And what's really nice is it will tell you what book in the series it is, because if you're at the bookstore, like if you're at Barnes & Noble or whatever independent bookstore you love, sometimes you don't know like what order they go in, and you have to Google it anyway. So it's really nice that you can just see what order all of them are in, so that I accidentally don't read that one first, because clearly I need to read the first one in that series or the first 4 in that series. So it'll tell you like recommendations. Obviously you can still search, and it does know that I am generally a fantasy girly with some romance thrown in. So that's why it's giving me these recommendations, but you can go look on Amazon.com and see that. So this section says books you may like in Kindle Unlimited. This one says Kindle Unlimited based on your reading. So it's even more personalized. Continue series you've started. So these are ones that I've started, these books in the series. Some of them I haven't finished, but I really loved The Housemaid. I'll talk about that in just a second. And then you can also create a list on Kindle Unlimited. So that way, if there are more than 20 books that you want to hoard and have at some point, it kind of becomes a really cool TBR. Let's see, it tells you more like other books that you've read. For example, I just read One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, and highly suggest them. They were the best books that I've read in a really long time. And if I'm really looking for something similar to that, then I can kind of scroll through and click on them. Like I have actually been thinking about reading the A Curse for True Love series, but I know it's not the first one. But I am reading Lightlark right now, and I'm not very far into it. It is on Kindle Unlimited. And then Nightbane is the second one, and if I wanted it, I would have to pay $7.99 or use my library app, which I will show you here in just a second. So you can do that as well, but if I wanted to buy it, I would just click buy for $7.99 and then it would appear in my library. But you can look at all the stats, 417 pages when it was published. It tells you a little bit about each book. And then what's nice actually is if you scroll right down here, it tells you what's in the series and what people also bought. Like this is just so personalized. I love that about the Kindle, is that it's just so incredibly personalized. So there are tons and tons and tons of books in Kindle Unlimited, and you'll often find that like the first book in the series is on there just to kind of suck you in, and then maybe the second one isn't. But an example of one that was on there is I actually read The Housemaid. This one is the second one, but you can see it's on Kindle Unlimited, as was The Housemaid. And then I think the third one is coming out in May of this year, and I think it also looks like it's going to be on Kindle Unlimited. So what's nice is you can actually read like a full series of books on Kindle Unlimited and not have to pay a thing except for your monthly or yearly fee. So it's like they have really good things on here. It's not just crap. I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, there's just, I mean, not that any author's work is crap. Let me specify and say that I don't think that that's the case, but just not well-known ones or not well-written or just random things that people have thrown up on it. But it actually has a lot of choices and some really good books on there. I also recently just read Two Twisted Crowns, and One Dark Window was the first book in that series. I will say I didn't love Two Twisted Crowns as much until the very end, but One Dark Window, this book, I was speechless. Like the writing is so gorgeous. It blew my mind. Like it's this gothic fantasy, and I think there needs to be more gothic fantasy in the world, and I will definitely be reading more by Rachel Gillig. I know she's writing another duology right now, which I might have to torture myself and wait until both are out, because I hate when I read a duology and both books aren't out. It's different when it's like, there are going to be a bunch of books like with Crescent City or with the other Sarah J. Maas books, but with duologies, it's so hard to not be able to read it all in one sitting, so, or just right after each other. So I highly recommend One Dark Window, and I actually just ordered the paperback copies of both of those so that I can have them on my shelf because I love them that much. I'm also really trying to read What the River Knows. I feel like, I don't know why this book, it sounds so amazing in theory, but I just haven't been able to get through it. And I even bought the audiobook to go with this because sometimes it kind of helps me to just get through parts of the story that my brain keeps scrolling through when I'm just trying to read it. So what's really another cool thing is that when you already have the book in your Kindle library, whether it's on Kindle Unlimited or not, or whether you just bought the book, which they're usually less expensive than paperbacks or hardcovers, but if you buy the book and you have it on your Kindle, the Audible version is usually like $7 or so, and sometimes that's worth it for me because usually they're a whole credit on Audible, which is like $16, or I've seen them be as much as $50. So it's really nice, and then it just syncs through all of your devices. So wherever you read on the audiobook, it'll just know, and it will just jump to that next time you open your Kindle. So that's another big perk of using Kindle and Audible together if you're an audiobook person and an ebook person, or you're thinking about trying it out. So I am going to try and read The Housemaid's Secret. I got this one from Book of the Month, but I gave it to a friend, so I am going to try and read You're Invited. And I just saw a TikTok about this one called When the Moon Hatched, and on that TikTok she was trying to go find this in a bookstore, but they didn't have it, but it is on Kindle Unlimited, so it is free. It's like 700 pages. It sounds amazing, so I'm excited to read that one. And then Lightlark, I just got off of Libby, off of my library, which I will show you here in a second. If you want to see how to get books off of Libby and put them on your Kindle, it is such a good feature because I think I will rarely ever be buying books based on Kindle Unlimited and Libby. I think that maybe there might be like a 10% of the time that I'll be actually physically buying a book, because I just buy the ones that I absolutely love and I want to, like, they just make me so happy to see them on my shelves. Or if it's just not available in the library, because I'm willing to wait for that, so I will use Libby or I'll use Kindle Unlimited. So I hope this was kind of a good comprehensive overview for this, and then stay tuned for a second and I will show you how to find books on Libby and then get them over here to your Kindle. Okay, so the very first thing you'll need to do is go to your app store and you will need to search for Libby for the app. And you do need to have a library card for this. If you go to your local library wherever you live, then most of them, I would say like 90% of them, use Libby. Some of them I've seen use Hoopla, which is right here, and some of them might have their own apps. But what I'm going to show you right now is how I use Libby, because that is what my library has. I know there are even some libraries out there where you don't even have to live in that area, but you can get a free online library card for digital content. I don't know what any of those are off the top of my head, but I will show you how I use my library card from the city. Actually, I have a couple, because I have the city and I have the county that I live in, so I'm able to access a couple of different libraries. So go ahead and make sure you have Libby downloaded, and I'm going to go ahead and open it since I already have it downloaded. And then you're going to see on here, this is my shelf. Okay, and I actually grabbed the audiobook and the regular book because I didn't realize they had the audiobook available, so I might return one of them, so I'm not hoarding books. But I actually just heard about this one called Lying in the Deep on TikTok, and so I went and found it in the library, which was really nice. And then what's really cool is you can click Read with Kindle, and it will send you over to log into your Amazon account, and then it will send it right to your Kindle. Like I showed you, it was on my homepage. I was actually listening to this one right here, this audiobook, a little bit ago. So it's cool that you can get audiobooks and regular books. And all you have to do is you just have to kind of go and search, and you can see my recent searches to see what I was looking for. And so you can customize it by whether you want to look at books, audiobooks, magazines. They say Kindle, but most of them can go to Kindle anyway. And then you can go in and look at your recent loans. Here are a couple that are on my shelf. Like, this is how I'm reading Light Lark right here. And then I grabbed the Nightbook or the Nightbane audiobook in case I finish Light Lark and I really need to read Nightbane, because you can go see on my holds. I have so many holds because my library lets me have a ton between my two cards. But if I scroll down here, there we go. It is at 11 weeks for Nightbane, and I'm 27th in line. So it's really cool that it tells you like you're updated. Like, where's one where I've moved ahead? Let's see. Like, I want to read From Blood and Ash, and you can see I started at 309th, but now I'm at 262. So it's kind of cool to just kind of watch these count down. And like I said, between my couple of libraries, I can have many different loans, and I'm hoping that by the time these become available, I will have more books read. And I also have to think about the fact that the third Crescent City comes out on January 30th. So I might have to suspend some of these. A really cool thing is that you can actually suspend this. So say like this is available, but I'm not ready to read it. If I click manage hold, what I can do is I can actually click suspend, and then it will make sure that I can read it later when I actually have time, and then somebody else can get that loan. So pretty awesome. And I have some that are like, it's going to take forever. Like this one, The Fury, is going to come out. This one says several months. Same thing with The Will of the Many. So I have a lot of books on hold thanks to my library cards. And then again, you can just, when you have them available, click that send to Kindle. I'll show you that one more time. If I go back to my shelf and you just click manage loan, oh, this one's already on my Kindle, so I can't show you, but if you just click read with, then it will take you straight to the Amazon sign-in page, and then it will be on your Kindle homepage. So I hope that helped a little bit with how Libby works and how you can get those books onto your Kindle for free. So if you're seeing those really popular books, then you don't theoretically have to buy them. Also, The Sanctuary in the Shadow has really cool pages on they're like the sprayed edges on the physical copy, but I might get that if I love the actual book. But so many of these like are so popular, and I'm so grateful that they're on my different libraries that I have access to, so that I can actually save some money and not have to buy them, and I can still enjoy them. But clearly I still might buy the physical copy if I like them enough. So if you have any questions about Libby, please leave them below, and I'm happy to help you out and happy to answer them. Okay, and that's how I got Lightlark over from Libby, and I'm able to read this one. I think, like I said in there, my Nightbane rental isn't for like 11 weeks. They usually come sooner, but it's not for like 11 weeks. So we'll see if I end up buying Nightbane or if I can wait for the next one if I really like Lightlark. So we shall see. So that's another one on my to be read list for January. And then of course is going to be the third book in the Crescent City series, which is probably going to be another giant book, and it will probably take me a little while to read that, but I'll definitely give a review in February and do kind of an updated what I'm reading in February. And also, if you're missing the pick a cards, don't worry, I will have one of those up very soon for you, since this is going to be, I've just decided it's going to be book and tarot card related, since I started out as a tarot pick a card channel. But I just love reading, and I really wanted to, I was honestly making the videos for my friends to explain Kindles to them, and same thing with this one. So if you guys are watching, this is because of you. And then I just got really passionate about sharing everything that I was reading. So I'll have some more cards for pick a cards, because people have been asking about that too. And then I will also just kind of update you on what I'm reading and all that. So if you have any book suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you have any more questions about the Kindle Paperwhite Signature Edition or anything about it, feel free to leave those in the comments below as well. And I will also link my Goodreads in case you want to follow me and just see what I'm up to and see what I'm reading. I will also leave that link down in the description below, as well as a link to this very specific Kindle and some of my favorite books. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you very soon with another video.